We are recording. I mean, we are live.
Yes, live.
Live.
We
We are
are here.
we are currently live. Yes. Yes, we are. We're not lying.
Not at all.
No
It's all
lie.
true.
Group.
Tonight's episode, I put this together last minute. An old piece of artwork, but I'd rather be lost in the woods with a bear than an angry beaver any day. But yeah, we're gonna play this epic podcast instead.
Welcome to For Music Lovers Only, a podcast where each host makes a top 5 list of their favorite songs from this week's topic. Each week is a new topic. Tune in, I dare you. Music Lovers Only.
Sorry guys, I got us canceled already.
That's
I think Casey and I would be good candidates for not choosing the bear, I guess, you know. Jeez. I don't know. Let it be. Let it be. And speaking of let it be, getting to the point of this podcast, we're talking music, not bears. And we're going to talk favorite Beatles songs, which was hard narrowing it down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could have redid the list 4 times and had 4 different ones. So
yeah.
we have plenty of backups if we,
And then I think they were 63 was their first album and 70 was their last album. So they, in the grand scheme of it all, very small amount of time they were together and active, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Amount of music they put out. Wow.
Yeah, and it's all. I mean, I can't think of one Beatles song I don't like. I mean, there's certainly some that I would not want to listen to, but you still
Yeah,
got
some better than the others.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, I made like 3 lists, so y'all can't get all of them. So
And I didn't come up with a question, so we're gonna free ball it here. I'll go first on the question though. I was in Quick Trip like Monday, and there was a gentleman needing to call 911 because he's been on a dog food diet, and I didn't hear him right at first, and neither did the person 911 operator on the other phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sounded like, his dog was sick, and I'm like, why are you okay? But fast forward, I mean, this guy is not feeling good because he's been eating dog food, and I'm like, what is wrong with this world that you would rather eat dog food than go get something to eat, even if it's at the Lord Diner or something.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to y'all, how do we fix this? Come on, it's an easy question.
How do we fix guys not eating dog food?
The amount the people not being able to eat, it seems simple.
Oh.
Starvation. How do we fix it?
Well, not the government. So we got that. But no, I feel like just depending on where you're at in America, I don't know that it's very easy to starve. I could see somebody eating dog food if he just is in his pride and he doesn't want to go get help.
Or is that a mental illness thing?
Or mental illness, but there's stuff to eat around here everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just people, either if you're a family and you have kids and you just don't go and utilize the many programs that are around, that's why you're starving. There's no reason to starve here. In other countries, you got people hoarding. So you can't fix that until you stop people from being bad. And that's not what you can do.
And then my other thought is, okay, we're feeding this to our dogs, and they're, what's in this crap? I know dogs and humans aren't built the same, but wow, just floored me. Anyway, next question. We're done with that one. I was just messing around.
Is that a question or what? So that was
if you guys I didn't have a question, so if you guys got questions,
well, my question is pointed for Beatles. It'd be, if you had one Beatle you could hang out with, who would it be?
Ringo. Definitely Ringo. Absolutely Ringo. We would get along so well.
I would say George. John's my favorite, but he would probably he's known for his assholeness. So I don't know if he'd be cool to hang out with. George seems like he'd be really chill to hang out with.
I think I was gonna say it depends at what point, but I guess just because you guys, I want to be different. Mine would have probably been Ringo too, but I'll say Paul. Just maybe early on, Paul. You know, when he was partying and doing all that before he got all proper Paul. You know,
Sir Paul.
Yeah, Paul knows cooler people.
He got knighted. He got knighted.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have a question, Sontia?
I did not bring a question.
No, I forgot to. That's why I made that one up at the last minute. But we'll go ahead and into the music news here. 2000, May 4th, because today's May 4th. So we need to get our, Star Wars bone on here. But Metallica demanded online music service Napster to cut off 335,000 users who claimed they had been illegally trading songs. The band passed the names on to the internet, considered to be stealing their material, as the latest development and ongoing battle of protection of music copyright on the web. That was 2000. I remember 2000. I got a virus from one of them damn things. Lost a computer.
Y2K, man.
Yeah. Napster. Yeah. So May 4th, 2012, American rapper, musician, film director, human rights activist Adam Yauch from Beastie Boys died of cancer. I think Yacht. That's his last name. I don't know his last name. But May 4th, 1970. This kind of goes along with some of the stuff going on in our current events. But 4 students at Kent University were killed and 11 were wounded by the National Guard troops on the campus. They were protesting Vietnam, the escalation of Vietnam. And it later inspired Crosby, Still and Nash. Was it Crosby, Still, Nash and Young, Ohio song? And then of course, today there wasn't a lot of Beatle news, but I found one. May 4th, 1968, Mary Hopkins won her heat on the ITV talent show Opportunity Knocks. She later signed with Beatles-owned Apple Records. Paul McCartney produced her UK #1 single, Those Were the Days, which made it #2 in the US. She went on later, married some music producer that we'd probably never heard of. I can't pronounce his last name because it's Italian, Tony something. So.
Oh, that's bad. Nobody. Josh.
Me again. All right, I'll take it. At least nobody gets to bump any of mine off. Number 5, kind of along. I mean, Rubber Soul was a dark album, but
I had a bunch of them on there.
Yeah. They had all of their albums kind of had the dark. It was kind of a balance of dark songs, and then even shock rock. I think they would probably be more, the godfathers of shock rock almost, because a lot of their lyrics were just crazy. And the first one was Run for Your Life. And it's a dark song. If I catch you cheating with another man, you better run for your life. And like I said, that was kind of about the bear and the predator thing. But I don't know. It's a good song and I love it. So whatever.
Okay.
Number 4, Yesterday, and Paul's song, but great freaking song.
Awesome song.
Yeah.
Number 3, I'm Looking Through You. And like I said, it's once you see the writing on the wall, you're looking through them. A little kind of heartbreak to that one. Number 2, I'm So Tired, because right now I'm so tired. It's been a long day.
Awesome song, man.
Yeah.
And then finally, number 1, with the kind of the shock theme, is Happiness Is a Warm Gun. This is kind of their, was their anti-war song, but happiness is a warm gun, bang bang, shoot shoot, something like that. I can't sing it today, but yeah, that was my list. We breezing through it today.
Good list. I that was a bunch of different, so like I said, I listened to 2 of those songs today, and I don't know if, my list was probably more of I don't know, more known songs like normal. I don't know how to say it. Still great ones though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I was looking for it, like I picked some songs and then I was like, am I missing anything? And then I just pulled up a list of all of their songs. So I was like, oh my God, this is a good song. This is a good song.
Yeah.
So I just picked a list of songs that were personal to me. So we'll see.
Uh-oh.
But you're not going to be able to hear it. Woo!
Get him.
That's probably I don't know. I had a 5th grade music teacher or whatever, vocal teacher, whatever, that got us into it. She did Beatles when we were in 5th grade. And this song was one of the songs you wouldn't have thought you would have sang back then. Obviously, you had some of the more common ones, but Get Back was one of my favorite songs, and just in your face song, and
it's so fun.
Oh yeah, that's what all of mine are, kind of more fun ones, I think. My number 4 was Come Together.
Yeah.
Off of Abbey Road. And I could, that one wasn't on there, and it kind of went off and on. So many came off and on. I could just keep going and going, and I wish I could rewind. We should have talked before the show on this one. Had a different 4 without a problem in the world. My number 3 was Day Tripper.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that one, dude. Yeah.
And that's one that, man, I listened to that probably 4 or 5 times a day. Just great song, just up and the whole time, and
good one.
Number 2 was and this wasn't even their song. This is the only one that's not completely theirs. I think it's Joe Cocker originally, but with a little help from your friends.
Oh, come on, man.
So sorry. God dang it. And same one as that one. I actually had that one off the list and had another one on there. And literally just kind of at the end, it felt so, I don't know, it was kind of the same way. That one just means a bunch to me. That was one of me and my dad's songs, cruising on the road, jamming together. And if that one came on, we were just, and finally we got to do that part together, one time, jamming that song, so anyways,
I don't know. I think the Beatles may have wrote it. Cocker may be the one.
I was doing research on it today, and that's where I can't tell, because it said something about Joe Cocker, and then I think it said something about him writing it, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to delve a little deeper.
69.
Okay, I never thought about it. I always thought that he covered it like this whole time. I didn't know that he possibly wrote it.
And I could be wrong. So if I'm not, we'll have to do research on that, and next week we'll tell the truth if I was wrong. My number 1, and I hope it's not on your song or your list, and I'm sorry. And I guess I didn't do good at doing albums on all these, but anyways, my number 1 was We Can Work It Out, Yesterday and Today. Also off of Rubber Soul, or what, it was on. That was where they did a bunch of albums that were, a bunch of songs were on a bunch of albums, because they had to put out so much music because of their contracts that they had. But another one of those just awesome songs, man. So that's my Beatles list. And I got a whole freaking, I got a whole bunch more. And if I didn't know, I wouldn't have stole your songs, and I'm sorry.
You were fine. I knew, I have 85 songs on here, so we're good.
Yeah, all of them. They're all good.
Yeah, I wrote 285. We are okay.
All right. Well, Miss Sontia, here we go. Boom.
Hey.
Now you got to talk for 30 minutes, because we are breezing through this really fast today.
Yeah, I was like, slow
Oh
down.
man, I know.
Sorry, I could have went longer on all mine.
Oh yeah, well, I talk.
You got to make it
also
up.
be trying to do my little shorts or whatever else, and he's like, "Oh my God, I have to cut out all of this." I don't That's
I
so
gotta do
much
it for all of us.
to
I've got a flow to it down now, so it's like it's fine.
say. All right. So my first one. Okay, so I'll tell a story. I wasn't going to tell it, but I guess I have time now.
I guess you have time.
So there I was having a spiritual journey, and I had never even heard of any kind of Sergeant Pepper anything ever. And I'd been listening to the Beatles my whole life, never heard anything about a Sergeant Pepper. And like I had it on YouTube, but we had a weird internet connection, and it just started playing Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here in the middle of everything, in the middle of the universe, trying to figure out my life. You know how you do. And it was just like, oh my goodness, we're all part of this Lonely Heart Club band, and we're all together, and it's so wonderful. And so I put that down because it reminded me of that incredible experience. And I eventually got that poster up, which was really cool. But then I took it down because it had a little devil in it, and it scared me. But then I put it back up because then I wasn't scared anymore. Yeah. And then I took it down because it got wet.
Awesome song, awesome. That video or the movie, that movie is a freaking trippy movie, man. If you've ever watched that movie, it is trippy. It is awesome. I don't even remember how long it is, but they got a bunch of music in it, and it's awesome.
I didn't know there. Well, I knew there was a movie. I've never seen it. I've seen the other movie of the song that I'm going to bring up next, which is
for a lot of the albums, they've got movies that go along with the albums. Mm-hmm. Yellow Submarine, I think, is the most popular one and my least favorite album, but it's my favorite movie just because it's trippiest. Yeah, and it's got more animation in it.
Oh yeah.
I think all of it's pretty much animation except for maybe like the end and the beginning or something. The beginning and the end, man. It really messes with my head.
It doesn't exist. Speaking of Yellow Submarine, that's my second one. One of my favorite songs to sing along to. I remember singing with my kids, The Yellow Submarine, singing on the school bus, The Yellow Submarine, singing at the bar, The Yellow Submarine. And
That's intro to Beatles, man. That's quintessential Beatles. That's like if you want to get a kid to love them, that's where you start them at, man. There's a specific journey you can take them on to full drugdom.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, man.
I remember when Paul came out and he was like, yeah, that was about, the drugs or whatever else. And everybody's like, yes, we know that.
Obviously.
I still think I've heard that it's not, at least John was saying that it was not, maybe that it was like, Julian had drew a picture of Lucy, of this gal named Lucy, and it was a picture his kid had drawn or something.
In the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah, but there's probably a lot of stories about it.
Yeah.
Always mess with their heads.
Yeah, always mess with their heads. All right, so the next one is going to be Lady Madonna.
Oh yeah,
because it's a fun song, and it was one of the ones that I put on my alternative list because I forgot about it. And when I was going through the list, I was like, Lady Madonna, what's Lady Madonna? And then I was like, I didn't even know the name of that song.
Yeah.
It's just so fun and free, and see how they run.
Poppy, down, down.
Yeah. Down. I bet you could put that on in the middle of the street and people start dancing.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of those songs that I don't think people really exactly, you don't just think Beatles, and that's one of the songs you don't, if you play that song, you don't, oh, that's Beatles, I mean, that could be a lot of different bands, but that's how different their sound was.
Yeah.
Over that short period. It usually took bands a 10 or 15, 20 plus year period to have that many different sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
And
songs even, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Beatles were together for what, like
7 years. Their first album, well, I mean, they were probably together a little bit longer, but their first album was 1963, and I may be wrong, but the internet will correct me. And then their last album was 1970.
Yeah, that's the last one that I saw was in 1970.
Yeah, and then they weren't even talking to each other that last album. It was kind of somebody'd go in, record a part, and then somebody else would go in, record a part. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they did like and I don't think there's a movie per se for that, but they played live on top of Abbey
Road.
Yep, studios.
Right.
And I think, and that's what the movie became of that. It's cool.
Yeah. So in 7 years, the Beatles made a discography that has lasted a lifetime.
Yeah.
So
never be anybody like them, I don't think.
And I think in like 66 or 67, they quit touring. And I think it was like at Shea Stadium, but they couldn't, the girls were going crazy, screaming. So the entire concert, they couldn't even hear themselves play. So like, what's the point? And
the point is, the people are the reason why you're famous. So go make them happy.
Well, the Beatlemania was I mean, you've seen the videos of them running, being chased down the street by girls and by a horde of girls, which sounds like a horrible problem to have.
It is.
I would get so tired of that, you know. I mean,
well, I did hear something about like Ringo actually said he had got injured like 2 or 3 different times, like, and not just necessarily by the girls, but by his staff trying to get him through the groups of people, or them trying to run from people and falling down, or get smashed indoors. And
it's like,
kind of like my life. It used to be, you know, I mean, running from people, beating them off with a stick. Oh,
ladies,
come on.
Hey, ladies.
Where was I at? How many was that? Like 3? I think I
was
was
3. You got number 2 and 1 left.
Okay, so number 2 is Hey Jude.
Hey Jude.
Just like
longest song ever on the radio at that time, or something.
But it didn't get exhausting. Like, it didn't get tiring.
Nope.
It felt necessary, that whole thing, because it's a whole story about, you know, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's written for Julian, John's son, and all the turmoil. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but Paul wrote it for Julian. Said it'll be okay, you know.
Yeah. And then just growing up, like watching my boys or whatever else, that it hits me in my heart, and especially just going through life and trying to figure out the ups and downs in life, and having to battle people and their own demons, their own trauma, having to battle your own demons and your own trauma.
Yeah.
And it's just like we're all going through it, and it'll be okay. So let's sing on a roof.
Yep. Good song.
Awesome song.
So, and then my last one is actually my self-soothing song. Whenever I feel like I've just kind of lost my foundation, or I'm kind of lost in the world, then I'll sing Because.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
And it's a simple song, but it's really thoughtful. It just brings out the simplicity of the life in the universe. Like, everything gets so complicated and so complex, but you know, the sky's blue, you know?
Yeah, it's a great song.
And just because
it was that close to making my list.
Well, my number 4 that I replaced with and stole from Sontia that was on mine was Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just a fun one.
Just
come on.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then my number 2 that I also stole from her was The Ballad of John and Yoko.
Yeah.
Which is a freaking awesome song, you know, and kind of honestly part of the reason they finished breaking up, and you know, she was the end of them, but also I think there was way more than just that. She was just the end of them. She wasn't the reason for the end of them. She was just the end of them.
Like I said, they did a lot in 7 years, so I mean,
man. So don't ever think that you can't do a lot in a short period of time.
Yeah, if you could do just as much in 1 year as they did as a band, you have an album. I mean, they literally, I think, I can't remember what the number was, but it's somewhere around 300 songs that they have to their name.
Yeah.
And their 100, I mean, there's, you know, there was the Beatles 100, but then there's also multiple versions of the 100, and there's somewhere between 100 and 135 and 185 different songs in their top 100. You know what I mean? So they're just an insane catalog of
just cranking it out.
Yeah. My fun one on my list was my backup list was a Twist and Shout.
Yep.
One for the epic movie scene of Ferris Bueller Day Off. that just seals it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun song. And then I Seen a Face, which is like I said, that was kind of I stumbled across the James Blunt meme, you know, with the kid in the background singing the song, and then dad pauses it at the she could tell I was fucking high, and the kid sings it, and what would you do? And I'm like, I forgot about that song, and like that's a good song, and then that kind of fit with, like, say this gal. I mean, I've been thinking about her and I about went up there for lunch today, but I was like, I'm just a bear. I mean, Jesus, this whole bear thing has got me. I'm like, why even bother? So I didn't.
Nah, you just put yourself out there.
I mean, yeah, I feel like a conversation that people are having about just like traumatic shit that they've been through shouldn't affect you and what you do, because all she can say is,
no, like you said, the narrative of it. I mean, what it's really about is not what's being pushed. It's it's screw men. You know, all men are bad. We're getting lumped into it. You know,
I feel like if that's just how it's being taken, I don't think that's what the original push was.
Yeah, and I think it's being heard by different people different ways. I think
stupid TikTok.
I haven't been on TikTok in months, man, and I feel good. I'm honestly, and I feel bad for not liking everybody. I haven't hardly been on Facebook. I haven't promoted my own. I've just been kind of on a break. I've kind of needed it, honestly, mentally. It's been horrible for my show and for my downloads and for all of that, but so what, man? I mean, I really needed it, and I'll be back. But right now, I'm just kind of
enjoying your life. Social media is toxic. When I was going through just like my big heartbreak, it was social media that had me confused as far as how I even felt. So I had to put it down so that I even knew what was in my own head. Yeah. And I had a situation recently to where I was just like, hey, there's no reason why people in your pocket should mess up your day or how you feel or what you're doing at all. Nothing on here is even real. This is just people spouting out whatever emotion they have at a time. It's at one period of time when they have a whole day where they're probably totally different people.
Yeah, and they're probably sitting on the toilet whenever they typed it.
Even if it's somebody you love, don't take it too personal, because people just feel and say and hear and do different stuff on there than they do in real life. My song that I thought, or two that I thought Josh would have on his list. One was Day Tripper. I thought that was the one where we would step on each other, and then Tax Man.
If I would have remembered Day Tripper, it would have been on there.
That one kept moving to up and up. I mean, it was one on my list, and then again, I thought it might be on your list, and I didn't want to have it too high on my list, and then you steal my number one song.
Like I say, Mom was in the hospital a couple days, so I was up there with her a couple days, and I kind of spaced it off. I listened to a few. I started the list, and then, the scheduling of getting it recorded, because I may be in Oklahoma right now, or I may be at Barleycorns. I don't know quite yet where I'm going to be, but
I might be in one of those places too.
I'm going to be at a birthday party.
So it was like, once we decided we were gonna pre-record the live record the pre-record, I was like, oh crap, I gotta come up, finish the list. And then I was like, oh crap, I hadn't even made any of the artwork for it or thought of something silly. So I'd had the Angry Beaver for a while, so I just, like I say, that everybody's been talking about the thing. I won't say it again because we'll definitely get canceled if I say it again. So the thing, and so I was like, anyways. But I think we're gonna do
like Angry Beaver,
huh?
Personally, I like the Angry Beaver.
The angrier the beaver, the better. No, we're gonna do what we decided after the breakup Beatles songs next week.
We can do that,
and then
it's gonna be all Nickelback.
All joined Nickelback and we didn't know it.
The aftermath.
Took me so long
Just don't be driving no red Lamborghinis. I know it was red.
That
Or
hurt my
Lamborghini
heart so
red.
bad. I was like, Chad, but I wasn't surprised. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, he'd do that.
Well, then Jimmy, I guess yesterday on Friday, Jimi Hendrix was is 1969. He was caught with hashish and heroin in Toronto. So don't party in Canada.
Yeah, leave Canada alone.
Leave Canada alone.
Leave their mooses alone.
If you're Canadian, I'm sure you can get away with it. But if you're American, you're screwed. Well, I guess Chad's Canadian.
Yeah, and don't take your hashish to freaking Russia either. Just
God, no! Don't do that. Don't do it.
Don't eat dog food. Don't take your drugs anywhere. Don't do drugs.
I still don't think that was a hunger issue. I think that was a mental health issue.
Yeah, mental health or pride.
Which we need is equal. We need maybe as much help for both. I don't know. That would be we could do a whole series of podcasts on mental health versus, hunger and homelessness. I mean, the three of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where we're donating all of the proceeds for tonight's show is one of those three causes.
Starving artist.
So send us money to do that with.
Yeah, because 2 of the 3 of us could be homeless and one of us could be carless if, our art or our work doesn't take off eventually,
But hungry, I always feel like a panhandler trying to sell art, but it's like money for the poor.
I'll be like, buy my music.
Download my shit, man.
Take it
on.
Listen to it.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I don't know what you're going to be doing. Yeah. So have a good night. This is weird.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
I keep saying what I'm going to do tonight, but nobody's going to see it. They're just going to know that I was there. So it doesn't matter because it didn't happen.
I was there.
Well, I hope you guys had a good Friday night and have a good rest of Saturday night and have a good Sunday tomorrow.
All right.
Yes. All right. Yes, because Sunday is tomorrow.
All right.
It took me so long to find out.